Hello, my friends. Lovely once again being here on the computer to talk to you. Today, my friends, I'm going to talk about the tools of spiritualism. You've heard me talk over the last couple of weeks about how to go into meditation, how to use energies, how to use and sense everything that comes towards you. Well, you know, friends, there's so much that you can learn within spiritualism once you know how to sense, how to use energies. And, you know, over the years, I've learned so much and it's come naturally to me. But at the same time, I've also watched other people that do exactly the same thing. And the reason I'm saying this to you is because I'm going to talk about psychometry, water readings, energy readings, tarot readings. Every one of those are all based on senses, on energies. They're the tools. And I'm going to explain to you, my friends, I do psychometry when I'm asked to do it. But I'm going back into the 70s where I was invited to a home circle with Mrs. Marjorie Backers. And she said, there's 6 of you here. And she said, there's 2 chairs facing that way, 2 chairs facing that way, one there, one there. I want you to take your chair you want. And I'm going to give you a pen, a notepad, and an envelope. And what I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to ask you to do psychometry. Well, I didn't know what psychometry was. I'm going to be honest with you, friends. She said, what I want you to do, I want you to feel the items. The envelopes I give you, I've got an item in them. I want you to feel them. I want you to write everything that you're sensing with it. So, of course, me, not knowing what was what, I was facing one of the chairs towards the back window. So I couldn't see what the others were doing. And I'd got this envelope in my hand and I was rubbing my hands over it, writing down on the notepad what was what. And I was doing this for a full hour. Then all of a sudden, Marjorie turned around and said, right, that's it. What I want you to do now, I want you all to put the items back into the envelope along with what you've written. I went, you what? She said, put the item back into the envelope with everything that you've written. I said, well, I didn't take mine out. Well, everybody laughed at me. I'm going to be honest with you. So Marjorie said, I'll tell you what, I'll staple what you've written to the envelope and give it back to the person it belongs to. Well, everybody were taking the mickey out of me. I'm going to be honest. And I had to laugh at myself, to be honest, because I'd never done psychometry before. And then she said, what I'm going to do next week, every one of you that have done what you've done here today with psychometry, I'll tell you how you got on. The following week, we all goes back down to Marjorie's. She said, well, I'm surprised. She said, 4 of you was absolutely fantastic. 1 of you was absolutely brilliant. And the other one, well, no one could connect with it. So, of course, my friend Sylvia, who sat at the side of me, nudged her elbow and said, that's you. I said, yes, that's true. And she said, no. She said, Barry, she said, can't believe it. You didn't take the item out of the envelope, yet the envelope I gave you, and I didn't know I gave it to you, that envelope was the one that my sister in Birmingham put her item into. And everything you wrote, she could understand. And she said, from now on, we're going to start to learn to do psychometry properly. Now, I'm going to be honest, friends, no disrespect, because everybody works differently. You go into churches and they say we do psychometry. They ask you to put an item on a tray along with others, and then they put a cloth over the top. But what they don't realize is, with that cloth being over the top, all the energies are mixing together. So when it comes to doing psychometry, they can't really connect properly. So they're only getting bits here, bits there and everything. And the other thing they do as well, when they take an item, they put their hand out like this, put the item into the hand and sit there, and they start to think. Well, you don't think of anything, because you see, when the item's in your hand, you're supposed to be feeling the energies. They're supposed to be sending the vibrations straight towards you without thinking. And I've learned over the years, the best way to do psychometry is do it the good old-fashioned way. No other energies can get connected to it, because you see, if anyone wants psychometry, they give you an item, whether it be of a watch, whether a ring, bracelet, or a necklace. And as soon as it touches your fingers, you just roll off with everything that comes from it. You don't think about it, you just roll off with it. And you'll be surprised just how easy it is to do once you learn to sense, once you learn to work with energies. And this comes to everything. This comes to everything, my friends, because it's the same as when it comes to doing ribbon readings. Now, I'm going to be honest again. I've seen many that do ribbon readings different ways. But I've got to explain to you, what I have noticed more and more is this. They ask you to choose a color, and they don't allow you to touch the ribbons whatsoever. So none of your energies are going on them. So they're not actually working with the energies of yours. What they're doing is working on the color that is given. And that, to me, is not working properly, because you're not getting any energies, you're not sensing things properly, so you're not connecting properly. But that doesn't mean to say they're in the wrong. It doesn't, because everybody works differently. But we're talking today about the tools you can use by using the energies, by sensing the energies. These are tools to help you, because you know, once you start to use the tools, whether it be psychometry or ribbon readings, with the energies, you're connecting. And when you're connecting, you're actually sensing spiritually as well. So more can come out from it, which actually gives more evidence. Because you see, these are the tools that are placed in front of you to help you to develop. You know, they don't like you doing these in the churches very often now. But that's the best way to help the fledglings to come forward, and how to work with sensing, how to work with using energies. This is the best way forward, because once they do that, and once they know as well, going back to what I've said over the last few weeks about learning to go into the meditation, everything comes together, everything falls into place. It's the same as when you do flower readings. Now, flower readings, my friend, they're lovely. I've got to admit, I've done a few of them myself, but it's not something I go mad on. But again, here's something. Years ago, when I was shown how to do it in the proper way, and I have to say proper way because I'm talking of the old ways, not the ways they do it today. Years ago, if you came into a church and you brought a flower, whoever was in charge would give you a raffle ticket and a little pin, and they'd ask you to hold the flower for about 5 minutes. Then you was to pin that little ticket towards it with a number on, so that the medium can say, I've got such and such a number. Today, they don't do that. What they do is you bring in a flower, and the person that's organized it takes your flower, picks your ticket, puts the pin upon it, and then puts it in front of the medium. Well, I'm sorry, that's not right, because automatically your energies that was on the flower has now been taken off by the person that's put the raffle ticket and that of the pin within it. So there's mixed energies, so it can't work properly. Now, I get told off many a time for saying these things, but be honest. I say to people, it's common sense. You see, when you're working with an individual, you want to be working with their energies. You want to sense their energies. You want to feel the vibrations of their energies. You want everything about the being that's in front of you, not connecting anywhere else. Now, it's the same when it comes to sand readings. And I've seen many sand readings over time, and I've been impressed. But I've also not been so impressed, and I'll explain to you why. I've seen them when they've had the sand in the tray, and they call somebody up and they say, put your hand into the tray, just shake your finger slightly, and then take it out. And then they do a reading. Brilliant, fantastic. The next person, put your hand into the tray, shake around, and they start then to go downhill. Why? Because every different person that's going up, putting the hand into the tray, they're mixing all the energies, so they're not able to do it. So what should be done in this direction when it comes to sand readings, and it can be done where they use small individual trays for everyone that comes up. As one's had a reading, empty that, fill it up, do the same and that again. But they don't want to do it because it's timing. It's timing. Yet we want to show people how easy it is to work with the energies, with the sensing, with the tools that are placed in front of them. And you know, I've done all of these things, my friend. So I'm not just talking out my head. I'm not pulling people down because, as I said, we all work differently. But I'm talking of how I was brought forward and how I was nurtured, how I was taught how to use the tools that are in front of us. Now, here's something else for you, friends. Water readings. I'm sure quite a few of you have had water readings. And again, they put a bowl of water in front of you. And they say, put your hand into the water and take it out, dry it. Then they look in. And what happens is their third eye opens up. And they start not to see a vision within the water, but they start to sense colours like a rainbow. And they start to interpret the colours, so by giving a message. Then they do the same over and over again. So the time it comes to it, you've had about 10 people in one bowl of water, 10 different mixes of energies, nothing given properly. So I tell people this is the way I do it. And I'm going to explain to you, friends, why I do it the way I do. Many years ago in the 80s, I'd never heard of water readings. I'm not going to lie to you, never heard of them. No one had ever mentioned them whatsoever. And I went to Mansfield to do a trance service. I took the service, and after the service, the president, she said, Barry, do me a water reading. I said, you what? She said, do me a water reading. I said, what's one of them? She said, your helper has just come through you, and for the last 3/4 of an hour, you've been talking about water readings. And I said, well, I don't know what you're on about. Explain it to me. I said, better still, let's give it a try. And this is how it goes, my friends. This is the way I work, and you'll all understand if you try it yourself if you work with the energies, and this is important. You ask a person to go to the kitchen, get a glass, wash it. Don't dry it with the tea towel, because otherwise the energies of others go upon it. Then I ask them to fill the glass 3/4 full and place it on the table in front of me. I don't even touch the glass at all. And then I say to them, what I'd like you to do is put your finger into the water. Any finger you want, put it into the water. And they do. And I say to them, now, what can you feel? And they laugh and they try to say, nothing. I said, come on, what do you feel? Well, it's just cold, wet water. That's all I want. That's all I want. Take your finger out. And then what I do, if you can imagine, and I have to put it this way to you, if you can imagine a car that's been parked outside your house and it's got a bit of an oil leak and it's been raining, and when you move it, you see a rainbow. And what you do is you look over the glass. And as you look over the glass, through your third eye, not in the glass, through your third eye, it opens up and you see a rainbow of colors going down the glass. And then I tell them what I'm seeing. I then interpretate what is being given. And before you know where I am, I'm giving a message to them. And this is because of all the energies that are there, and you're sensing them. You're actually seeing the vibrations of them energies, and you're able to see the colors and interpret them, give them a message. And then I'll say to them, right, do you understand what's just been given? Yes, thank you. That's amazing. I'll say, watch. This is more important than actually what's being given, because then you look over the glass. If the water is still, it shows that someone has passed with stroke conditions, someone that's passed with that of cancerous conditions. But if the glass is moving, the water's moving and rippling, Parkinson's disease, heart conditions, lung conditions, all these things you sense, and you tell them what you're sensing. And you tell them as well, whether it's male or female, father or mother, and you give it to them. And they'll say, my God, how can you tell that? And I say to them, well, now watch. And I take my finger and I place it on the top of the water. And it's like a gel. And they look and they say, oh my God. And I put my fingers in and I pinch the water. And as I pinch the water, it's like a slime. It's like a slimy water, a jelly. And I say, right, now you put your fingers in, you pinch it. Oh my God, I can't believe it. I said, well, that's your energies you've just put into the glass in those few seconds. And those energies, I've just interpreted them because I was able to sense what the colors meant. And this is what we're talking about when we're saying, use the tools. Now, here's another one for you. The tarot cards. Everyone thinks the tarot cards, buy them, buy the book, read the book, it's easy. It isn't as easy as you think, my friends. You see, the books that you get with these tarot cards, they tell you the positives, they tell you the negatives. They don't tell you how to use the energies. And it's the energies again. Remember, the tarot cards are but a tool, and it's the energies that goes upon them that are important. My friends, I will tell you this. Some will say it's a load of nonsense, but remember, I'm of the old breed, and I talk of what I know, what I see, what I feel, what I'm sensing. Tarot cards, you should never buy yourself. If tarot cards are meant for you, they are to be bought as a gift or handed down. And I'll tell you for why. If you buy a pack of tarot cards for yourself, you open the pack You look at the cards. Yours is the first energies to go on them, your energies. And because your energies are the first ones, they're trapped within the cards itself. So your energies will always be there. So you won't be able to give a proper reading with it. So I say to people, don't buy them for yourself. Take them as a gift, yes. Have them handed down to you, yes. Then learn to sense the importance. And it is very important, friends, because you see, you know, people today, and I've seen it done, they look at the cards and they look at everything within a card. So we'll just say, for instance, we've got the Queen. No, I'll go for the Empress. The Empress. You see the Empress? You see the crown upon the head. You see that of the pillars. You see that of the grapes. You see all of these things. And what people think you've got to do when using that card, the same as every other card, you've got to look at everything that's there. No, you don't, my friend. When you look at the tarot cards, you look at what stands out for you. And I'm going to explain to you, my friends. I'm going to find the Empress just to show to you. So please bear with me for a second, and I will explain what I see, what I sense where this card is concerned, just to give you a bit of an insight, because I will tell you something else later on. It's always at the bottom when you want it at the top, and vice versa. We will get there. Right. I should have actually done this before, friends, so please forgive me. This one is the High Priestess, the Empress. Okay. If you look at that card, you will understand what I was saying earlier. You see that of the High Priestess. You see that of the crown. You see of the pillars. And many will look and just turn around and say, I see the High Priestess. I see the pillars. And I see two initials on it. Do you understand? Well, no, they won't. They won't understand. But this card is a very important card in any pack you get, the High Priestess, because this shows automatically the person that is having the reading, it shows they are sensitive. They are sensitive because they sense the energies of spirit. They have premonitions. You see things occurring long before they do, and you've seen places you've never been before. This is because the Queen wears the crown of the crystal ball, and through her thought wave, she sends a vision. But she also carries the scroll of the tarot that shows your destiny is already written. And when you look at the cards, you can see two pillars, one of black, one of white. Well, we all know in life there's nothing black and white. These pillars represents that of strength, that of goodness, and carved upon the pillars are the initial B, the initial J. Both are around them. Both will support them. But when you look around, you will see the grapes, because they are the vine that brings the grapes, that makes the wine to taste the goodness of life. So they will taste the goodness of life through their gift. So you see, just by learning, sensing what the cards reveal. So you have to look at what stands out. Don't just think that you've got to look at everything when you look at a tarot card itself. Because remember, it ain't the card you're looking at. It's the energies that are bringing things out to you that are important. And that's how you're able to give a proper reading to people without asking them questions. Because, my friends, I will tell you, this is the way I work. And this I've been doing for over 44 years. On my table, I have that of a purple velvet cloth. Now, you know, when you get your tarot cards, they say to you, wrap them in silk. Well, anyone will tell you, when it comes to it, put a silk scarf on your arm and it just drops off. It doesn't hold. So it doesn't hold energies. But velvet does. And what I do, I place the pack of cards for people upon that of the velvet. And when they sit before me, I always explain the way I work. Then I break the cards into three to break the energies that are on it. Then I work upon the energies of the velvet, rubbing slightly, very lightly over the cloth to break any energies. And before you know where you are, remember the person in front of you is giving you everything through their energies, what you're sensing. And we have what we call an aura field. And it draws into velvet very much like a magnet draws bits of metal. And before you know where you are, you're seeing symbols, you're seeing little visions, you're seeing names that come across it, and you're able to tell them. And then when I've done that, I go then into the spiritual. But when I come to the cards, I ask them to pick the cards up. I ask them to shuffle them. And once they've done that, I ask them then to place 10 cards face down so I don't see the pictures whatsoever. And then I'm working with the cards that are this side, not that side, this side. So I'm working on them long before we actually see what the visions are, because I'm working on the energies. And then when I turn the cards over, 9 times out of 10, what I've seen on the back of the cards, the pictures are showing to me, and I pinpoint to them and I explain everything to the person that's in front. And believe me, my friends, I never ask a question when it comes to the cards. I tell them everything because I'm going what I see, what I sense. And this is what we're talking about today. Learn to use the energies, learn to use your senses, but most of all, learn to use the tools properly. Learn to use them properly. Because, my friends, in the next few days, myself and Kyle, what we have done, we have taken the time to put up each and every card, the symbols, the sensing, to help others. This isn't teaching you to do the tarot cards. They're the things you've got to learn to do yourself. This is what you've got to do. Learn to sense on everything. But it's to give you a footstep onto that ladder of learning to work properly. You see, friends, there's so much you can do once you learn how to connect properly with spirit. Because I've got to put it this way to you, friends. Over the last few weeks, I've spoke about how you go into relaxation, how you go into meditation, how you open your chakras and your sensing of all the things that are around you. And once you've opened up, look at the things you can do. You can do lots. You know, friends, I'm going back to psychometry. A few years ago, I was asked to go to that of Matlock to do a demonstration on how to do psychometry, to help people, to show them just how easy it is to work with the energies. And I went to a lady, I had a hymn book, I opened it up, and I went to this lady, I said, would you mind putting an item on the book for me, please? And she put a ring upon it. I said, watch and listen, please. And I went from this side of the room to the other side of the room, and I went to a gentleman. I said, my friend, what I want you to do, I want you to pick this ring up. And as soon as your fingers touches the ring, the first words that come to mind, say it. I don't care if you swear or whatever you want to do, just say it. And he picked the ring up, he went, chocolate ice cream. I said, thank you. And I put it down. And I went over to the lady. I said, would you mind taking your ring back, please? She said, thank you. I said, sweetheart, did you manage to hear what the gentleman said? She said, yes, I did. I said, he said chocolate ice cream, didn't he? Yes, he did. I said, you can't stand them up, can you? She said, no, I can't. So you see, that gentleman, he'd never done psychometry in his life. And yet, the first thing he sensed, because he used the senses, he came out with the word, and he was able to give a message to a lady that he didn't even know. So you see, friends, when you want to learn how to work with the tools, remember, you've got to start at the beginning, get down to the basics, learn to grow. It doesn't come easy. Anything that comes easy isn't worth having. But everything that you work towards, everything that you're gaining the knowledge of, everything that you can keep hold of, that lasts with you for a life. And believe me, it does. And when I talk the way I do about bringing all of this forward to you, you know, friends, I'm not getting anything out of it in the sense of money-wise, because I don't charge, never have done. What I'm doing here, I'm explaining to you how you can use the tools of spiritualism, how you can learn to use them correctly, how you can use them to give a true spiritual energy sensing reading to the person you're meant to go to. And that's what it's all about, friends. And as I say, it's took me all my life to learn these things. Doesn't happen overnight, but the more you do it, the more you sense, the more you sense, the more you gain, the more you gain, the better it becomes. So friends, as I've said so many times, if you've got anything you want to ask, don't be afraid to ask. But I will tell you, friends, last week when I done my demonstration in bringing forward the senses to help and everything, I'm going to put it politely. There was a gentleman that put up a very rude comment about me. And I'm going to be honest with you. I was very disappointed because I thought I was helping, but he thought I was doing something different. I didn't even bother to reply to him. But my friend Kyle, he was very dignified, and he wrote back to him, and he done it in a polite way, but put him in his place, because no one is here to offend anybody. What we're doing on this live is trying to help. And if it can only help one person, then I'm grateful. I'm grateful that I'm able to do this sort of thing. And friends, if you do have any questions, please, by all means, don't be afraid. Just send me a message, because I will tell you of another one before we go, friends. And this again will probably help you. A lovely lady sent me a message, and she said, Barry, when I go into meditation and I go into the deep meditation, I see a lot of things that Spirit showed to me. And I said to her, you do not see a thing. She said, oh, I do. She said, when I'm in my meditation, I see a lot. I said, if that was the case, you're not in meditation. Because once you are in meditation, your mind is empty. The whole of your body is empty. You're in a oneness. You're at peace of mind, body, and spirit. It is when you're coming out of meditation, because you have opened your chakras, that's when you start to sense everything. That's when you feel everything. That's when you know what you're getting, not while you're in the meditation. Because you see, friends, let's put it this way to you. If you were in meditation and you were seeing things in meditation, you're not in meditation. And I explained that to the young lady, and she said, thank you. She said, you've helped me a lot. And that's what I'm here for, to help, to give you a bit of guidance, not to teach. I am not, and I will repeat this, I am not a teacher. But if I can help anyone, I'll willingly do it if they're willing to learn and to listen. So my friends, I'm going to say God bless you. And I hope you do take the time to listen to the words that have been spoken. Because you see, I must say this before I leave, because I do apologize. I should have brought this in as well. When it comes to working with energies, there's a lot of mediums that do photo readings. And I'm going to explain to you, I'm talking of personal experience. I was asked to do one, and I was always told, you never see the picture. Always have the picture face down so you don't know who's there. And I was invited many years ago in the 80s to go and do a group sitting. And a lady said to me, she said, would you do an energy reading on this photo? And she gave it to me. And she gave it me face down. So I didn't know whose photo it was. And I can remember this because a lot of things happened, and you'll understand why in a second. She gave it to me. And as I just gently over the top of it, rubbed my hand without touching it, I said, there's a gentleman here. I said, not a very old gentleman, but I said, one that passed into the realms of spirit with breathing conditions linking where the throat was concerned. And I noticed her look at this gentleman. And I thought, oh, I've connected here well. I didn't know how well I did connect, friends, because when it came to it, the photo with the energies literally curled. And there in front of me was the photo of the gentleman sitting on the settee in front of me. And I said, well, I'm sorry. I'm not going to take back anything I've given. I've given what's come from here because I've worked on the energies of what I am sensing. 2 weeks later, the lady knocked upon the door. She said, Barry, I've got to tell you something. She said, when you done the reading of the photo of my husband, she said, you said he passed with breathing conditions linking to the throat. I said, yes, I can remember it because I felt embarrassed because I hadn't connected properly. She said, oh, yes, you have. She said, my husband passed away yesterday. She said, and it was through the throat conditions. And she said, I'm going to explain to you. She said, you knew nothing of this whatsoever. The week before you came and done the reading, my husband, a few years ago, had been in an accident on a motorbike, and he had problems with his breathing and everything. And last week, he was given the all clear from the hospital. But she said they found out there were complications they missed. So you see, when you're doing it, you see, you don't realize at the time what you're bringing out. But when you're working truly with the energies, you can't falter. And here's something else for your friends. A month later, the lady came to me and she said, Barry, what do I do? She said, the insurance people are refusing to pay out over my husband's death because of his condition. And I don't know more. I linked in with Spirit, and Spirit said, remember, he was given the all clear from the hospital, which means this ailment was clear and nothing to do with his illness before. So therefore, put in your claim, and she received £38,000, which they wasn't going to pay out. So you see, friends, what I'm talking about when I'm saying all these things. These are tools, yes, used wisely. You can do a lot to help people. So learn to do them in the true spiritual way, using the energies. Learn to sense, learn to connect. Now, friends, that's my time for today. I've got another 2 more things that I'm going to bring forward to you over the next couple of weeks, and hopefully it'll help you even more. But I'm going to say, friends, thank you for listening and thank you for watching. But please, I'm here when you want to ask. That's what I'm here for. So I say God bless. And oh, sorry, friends, I'm being very rude on this sense. You know, if you can't ask the question here on live, on a Friday evening, every Friday evening at 7 o'clock, if you go to my page, Barry Potter Spiritualist Medium, you will find a connection. And we do a questions and answers with Spirit, where you are allowed to ask 2 questions of the Spirit that comes through me. And once everybody's asked their questions, if anybody else has got more questions to ask, they can ask another 2 as well. So friends, please come and join us on the Friday, but most of all, come and ask. That's what I want you to do. God bless each and every one of you. Thank you.